Optic Watch Reviews, 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 Optic Watch Reviews.
Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, collection review for Josh in Canada. He's in his early 30s, sent me a very kind email, thank you for the kind words, and he's got a very sweet 6-piece collection, looking maybe to add one more. Let's see what we've got. First we've got 3 pieces inherited from his family. So the first one is a GP, Gérard Périgot, GP 7000 with a caliber 8514, which is a modified ETA 2892. Purchase summer of 1985. I'm reading his email. By my father in Venice, Italy on his honeymoon. How cool is that? Little known watch, but I just love it. Measures 38 by 46, yellow gold tachymeter bezel with rose gold subdials. That's very 80s, very cool. Champagne dial, gifted to me for my undergraduate university graduation. Super cool. I love the story and yeah, very 80s look. But it's yeah, it's great to inherit something that means something to the family. Next, we have the Lord Elgin. I wonder who Lord Elgin was. Lord Elgin dress watch, caliber 730. It's a manual winding 34mm dress watch from the 60s, inherited from his late grandfather, a US Air Force veteran who passed away in 2011. Thank you for your service, sir. It was gifted to him for his wedding, and it is well worn. Josh says that he has the original snake-style expandable gold-plated bracelet, but he prefers it on the leather strap. I would go for the full gold bracelet, but that's me. He has replaced the old foggy plexi crystal, and it has been freshly serviced. So the old watch keeps on going, keeps on thinking, otherwise everything is original. It's not particularly valuable, as Josh notes, but it's near and dear to his heart, of course. And you know, back in those days, people had one watch. You know, I don't know when we all went crazy for collections, but it's so great to associate someone with a watch. And I always wonder, which watch am I really if I had to have just one? He loves the grasshopper lugs. That's what they were called, I suppose. Doesn't know much about the history of Elgin watches, other than it is an American brand, and I don't know much about it either. But what I do know is that I really like the cardinal markers on this watch. Very, very good looking, and the lugs give it a lot more presence than the 34mm nominal size, and of course. Yeah, the signature rounded, the sub-seconds, and the crosshair, everything in this watch just looks great. And yeah, great story, great to inherit this piece and have a piece that meant something for someone in your family. I love it. Now we have a heavy hitter, another watch that came to Josh from his dad. It's the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chrono. The Kasparov, as people have nicknamed it, is the reference 25860ST. So Josh says, this is the 39mm variant, which has been discontinued. This was gifted to me by my father 3 years ago for my wedding. Nice. He purchased it in Florida in 2007 without really knowing what it was. Man, that is instinct, right? It is extremely special to me, and I wear it only sparingly because it's actually a tad large for my wrist, and I mostly keep it in a locked closet because it's too expensive to insure. In my mind, there is no bracelet that compares to the one on this watch. So yes, a 39mm in a Royal Oak is going to wear great for me. I have a 17cm wrist, but Josh has 15cm wrists. And what I like about his collection is that he's been mindful of buying watches that wear great on his wrist. So 39 Royal Oak is going to wear more like a 40, 41 of a different brand. And this one, if you really count the bracelet and how it angles down, it's going to near 50 millimeter wingspan, which is a bit too big if your wrist is 15 centimeter. But what a special watch. And I keep on beating myself up for not picking up the 39 millimeter dual time that I had the chance twice to buy at a much better prices than now. But hopefully the market will calm down. And yes, Audemars Piguet realized their mistake when they discontinued the 39 and they came back with a 38, which is amazing. And again, I should beat myself up because I had a chance to pick up at a very good price at or even below retail when they came out, because people didn't really realize what those were. The 38 millimeter gray dial version, which is amazing. What a great look. Everything gray like this. Of course, everybody wants the sort of panda, the white dial with the blue subdials. But the gray dial, man, what an amazing Royal Oak. And this one that you have, the Kasparov, of course, the famous chess player. When I was growing up, you know, I'm a bit older. Karpov and Kasparov were the two main chess players from Russia. And yeah, apparently he was wearing that watch. Beautiful piece. Yeah, cherish it. Wear it once in a while, but it's true that it's very, very visible. I gotta be careful where you wear that thing, but I love it. And what a great instinct from your dad to pick up that one and to cherish it, save it for you, giving it to you for your wedding. That's the kind of watch, man, one and done, just fantastic. But yeah, a bit big for you. So the next three watches, Josh went for the perfect size. He's got the Omega Speedmaster reduced 3510.50 caliber 3220, really well-known one. This is the most ubiquitous of the Speedy reduced, as Josh says in his email. He says, I purchased this from a private seller of a Canadian forum a few years ago to commemorate a new job. So every watch here has a lot of meaning. This is the watch I wear most frequently in my collection due to its versatility and perfect dimensions, and I love that it's an auto. So the reduced is a modular construction. At the base you have the ETA, the thinner version of the ETA, so it's not the 2824, it's the 2892. And on top you have the Dubois Deprat module, which is used in super high-end watches. So don't think that modular constructions, even Audemars Piguet uses that module. So yeah, the reduced is very well known. As you might have seen my videos, if you want the fully integrated version, you can get of an Omega in a smaller format. You can get the Omega Speedmaster Date. The one I have is the Japan edition, which I think looks great. Very slim as well. And you will have the pushers lined up with the crown, unlike on the reduced. But the reduced is very well loved. What you get with the reduced is the same look, the same basic look as the Moon watch, the one I have. So it's great for smaller wrists. What is great as well is that, yeah, it is not too thick. The base is easy to service. Yeah, a very common watch, a very cool watch. And yeah, if you love your Speedy, then you wear it every day, and it's a great watch to wear. And it's automatic, as Josh mentions. That's always a plus. Next, very interestingly, we have another Omega, the Seamaster Professional 300 mid-size. So it's the reference 2252.50. Most people will go for the larger one, the 41 millimeter. The one here has the caliber 1120. And Josh says, after hunting for a dive watch / beater watch for several years that didn't look too big on my wrist, yes, I tried the BB58, but eventually sold it. Okay, I stumbled across this beauty last month. The larger variant, the reference 2254.50, very well known, is of course the more popular one, but for my ET-BT wrist, the 36mm mid-size is just perfect. The threading bracelet is incredibly well built and even has a diver's extension. The loom is incredible. This is the pre-coaxial, but with the wave dial, which adds so much character. I got this watch pre-owned for under $2,700 Canadian dollar. Pretty remarkable value. So there's so much to say about this watch, because as you say, it is pre-coaxial, and you say but with the wave dial. I wouldn't say but, because pre-coaxial, I have nothing against it because they're much thinner. The coaxial that Omega adopted, it's much thicker. It took a while to really come into its own. Tends to run not that much better than the ETA-based movements that Omega used before, and that were thinner. Here you still have the wave dial, and but also the caliber runs at 4 Hz, while Omega had to detune to a lower beat rate. So you have a smoother seconds hand with this pre-coaxial version. I don't think I even knew there was a smaller version to the 2254, and it looks really great, because what's great is that you have the James Bond watch, but then Omega released this version of the dial, which is more reminiscent of the old Seamaster 300, which I love so much, and that they will eventually reissue. I really love the hands, the sword hands, and especially the big indices, and as you say, the loom is huge. What a great pickup. Man, there's so many cool Seamasters and I like the early ones, pre-coaxial, really thin. It's just something very different. It wears so good. You put them on, it's like, oh, you've arrived, it just feels so good on the wrist. So another great choice, man. You're not doing anything wrong here. And it's much more original than having the great Black Bay 58, which is great, but you're going for something very personal, very original. I like that. And finally, Josh's favorite watch is the 36mm Datejust. Another great one and done type of watch. But it's good to see Rolex in the collection. This is the 126234 caliber 3235. As you say, needs no introduction. Josh had to wait 8 months to get it from the 80. But he purchased it to commemorate the pending birth of his daughter, their first child, and something he would want to gift to her at some point in the future. Well, we'll see about that, because there will always be other watches to purchase for your daughter specifically. Great if you give it to her. She might not even like it. And anyway, it looks amazing in your collection, brings a bit of color. People don't realize the numerals are not green; they are black, which is great. I love black on silver. It's the outline of the numerals, which is green. It's the Wimbledon dial, to reference the famous tennis Grand Slam tournament, and it's the one I have. I have the 41mm version. So they're going to look a bit different, because the 41 spreads a bit more across the wrist with the same thickness. So the 36 are a bit more stubby. But if you have a smaller wrist, for your wrist, I think 15 centimeter wrist, this is perfect. Adds a bit of color, a bit of flash, a bit of also white gold on the bezel, and it's a very practical watch. You can use it every day. And when you want to tone it down, you have the Speedmaster reduced. You want to classy it up a bit. You have your inherited pieces from your grandpa and from your dad. Of course, the Royal Oak. I think it's an amazing piece. That one is just high horology, beautiful. I think inside you have Frédéric Piguet chronograph. Very nice one. And the Seamaster complements perfectly the collection. You need to have a diver in the collection. Wow, what a great 6-piece! Couldn't do better. It's just perfect for the wrist. Great mix of colors, of functions, and it's most importantly super usable. And you haven't gone too crazy. Haven't added too many things. You can use all of these watches all the time, and they're meaningful to you. I love the restraint in the collection. You really hit all the bases. Now, you're asking, I'm not sure if you really care to add anything. Sometimes it's just when it's so perfect, you don't want to touch it, right? And just think about something else. Use your money for your kids, and you're done with the watches. This is perfect as it is. But yeah, adding something would be great to have something in the size that you like, in a more smaller size, maybe with a second time zone, something of that vein. And I think the one that comes to mind, and the one that people tend to recommend to other people and they don't really enjoy themselves, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. You seem to be a good looking guy, classy guy, with fine taste, and maybe you want a more modern dress watch. Couple of time zones. So on the reverse side, it's always an interesting way to present it. The Reverso, and it comes in different colors, would be great for you. It can be worn casually. It can be worn also in a dressier fashion. I think it would work really great in this particular collection. As I said, sometimes the Reverso people, think that is the right addition, and they don't really connect with it. So it's something that you really have to try for yourself and see if you connect with it. Also, the second time zone on the other side, it's not. I mean, you don't see it all the time, right? Who really turns around the watch face to read the second time zone? I have one myself. It's not really the function that matters all that much, but it's cool because you have two different colors on each side of the dial, so it brings extra colors in your collection, 2 in 1. But I think, yeah, the shape would work great in the collection, bringing a different shape. The functionality would be great, and of course it comes in medium sizes, which would be perfect for your wrist. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend buying that at the boutique. You would want to get a good price, a great discount. There's no rush. Maybe you can find one used, something to keep on the radar, as I like to do. That's the best way to build a collection. And when the markets come down, it's an even better moment to be smart about the purchases. So there's no rush to add anything to a very well balanced collection, which I enjoy looking at a lot. I think a grail for maybe your 40s would be to add a Patek, maybe one of the original world timers, because they were 36 or 37 millimeters. Another one that I really love is the recently released 5326. That's the annual calendar travel time. I just saw the time only version, and I have to say, in person, it was really brilliant, really a beautiful watch. I wasn't sure from the pictures if I would like or not the sort of 14 that they've been using, which is not very Patek-like, but very cool line of watches. Of course, they tend not to make the watches too long, so maybe by the time you're 40, they will have proposed something else. The 5134 that I had, yes, I've sold it. I needed to reduce my collection. It's a little travel time Calatrava, would also be a great watch for you. And if you like yellow gold, they came also in yellow gold. White gold was very nice, different type of fonts, but they're very finicky things. The mainsprings do break, and so it gets very costly. So for now, I would stay where I am with your collection. I would enjoy it. I would focus my money on the family, on the house, the cars, the education of the kids, and maybe have that nice grail, maybe from Patek or something else for your 40th birthday. Thank you very much for sharing your collection. Guys, any suggestion, put them in the comments, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye bye.